Lasagna. Just the word conjures up images of bubbling cheese, layered pasta, and the rich, savory aroma that fills the kitchen as it bakes. It's comfort food at its finest, loved by families and food lovers around the world. Tonight, you're about to master the art of making delicious lasagna like a true pro, right in your own kitchen. Start by gathering the freshest and most flavorful ingredients you can find. The magic of lasagna lies in its layers, so each component deserves a little attention. For the pasta, you can use no-boil noodles for simplicity or traditional sheets for an extra authentic touch. If you want to take it up a notch, try making your own pasta dough from scratch. It's simpler than you might think and makes the dish truly special. The heart of any great lasagna is the meat sauce. Begin by heating a generous splash of olive oil in a heavy bottom pan. Add finely chopped onions for sweetness, diced carrots for earthiness, and celery for a subtle depth. Sauté them gently until they soften and fill your kitchen with a fragrant aroma. Next, add minced garlic for a burst of flavor. Now, bring in your choice of meat. Classic lasagna often uses a combination of ground beef and pork, but you can also experiment with turkey, chicken, or even plant-based alternatives for a lighter twist. Brown the meat thoroughly, breaking it up with a wooden spoon. Allow it to caramelize a bit. Those brown bits on the bottom of the pan are packed with flavor. Once the meat is browned, stir in rich tomato paste to intensify the sauce. Pour in crushed tomatoes or passata, and throw in a handful of chopped fresh basil and oregano, or dried herbs if that's what you have on hand. Season with salt and pepper, and add a pinch of red pepper flakes if you like a hint of spice. Let the sauce simmer gently. Unhurried time on the stove allows the flavors to meld and deepen. As the sauce bubbles away, prepare the creamy cheese filling, the luscious layer that melts as your lasagna bakes. In a bowl, mix ricotta cheese with a beaten egg for structure, a handful of grated Parmesan for sharpness, chopped fresh parsley for color and freshness, and a touch of nutmeg for warmth. For extra creaminess, add a spoonful or two of mascarpone if you have it. While your sauce develops its rich flavor, grate a generous amount of mozzarella cheese. You'll want enough to cover every layer with gooey, stringy goodness. If you love cheese, blend in some provolone or fontina for an even richer taste. Now, it's time to build the masterpiece. Preheat your oven to a moderate temperature so it's ready when you are. Spread a thin layer of meat sauce on the bottom of your baking dish. This will keep your noodles from sticking and add flavor from the very first bite. Place a single layer of lasagna noodles over the sauce, overlapping them slightly to create a solid base. Next, spread a portion of the creamy cheese mixture over the noodles, smoothing it gently. Ladle more meat sauce on top, ensuring every inch is covered. Scatter a generous handful of shredded mozzarella over the sauce, letting it dance to the edges of the pan. Repeat the layers, noodles, cheese, meat sauce, mozzarella, until you reach the top, finishing with a final layer of noodles, sauce, and an extra thick blanket of mozzarella and Parmesan. Before baking, let the lasagna sit for a few minutes. This gives the noodles a chance to start absorbing the sauce, which helps everything meld together during baking. Cover the dish tightly with aluminum foil to lock in the moisture, and bake for about 40 minutes. Uncover it for the last 15 minutes or so, allowing the cheese to bubble and turn a rich golden brown. As hard as it may be, let your lasagna rest for at least 15 minutes after it comes out of the oven. This crucial step allows the layers to set, making it easier to cut clean, satisfying squares that hold together beautifully. But what truly makes a lasagna pro-worthy is the attention to detail, the seasoning of each component, the patience to let the sauce simmer, the quality of cheese, and the careful layering that gives each forkful a perfect balance of flavor and texture. You don't need a Nana's secret recipe, just a willingness to enjoy the process. For a memorable finishing touch, sprinkle some fresh basil or parsley over your lasagna just before serving. The burst of green gives a hint of freshness to the rich, savory dish. Serve it with a simple salad dressed with lemon and olive oil, and perhaps some warm, crusty bread to mop up every last bit of sauce from your plate. And remember, lasagna isn't just a meal, it's an experience. Each bite brings together layers of tradition, love, and craftsmanship. What you're making tonight is more than food. It's an invitation to linger at the dinner table, to savor conversation, and to create memories that will last long after the last piece has disappeared. If you want to personalize your lasagna, don't be afraid to get creative. Add roasted vegetables like spinach, zucchini, or eggplant between the layers for a different flavor and hearty texture. Substitute creamy bechamel sauce for the ricotta filling for a nod to the Northern Italian style, or experiment with spices and herbs that reflect your own culinary flair. Remember, the best lasagna is made to suit your taste and those you share it with. Taste and adjust as you go. More salt, a handful of extra herbs, or a bit of crushed garlic can make all the difference. Finally, know that lasagna only improves as it sits and the flavors develop. If you have leftovers, refrigerate them for tomorrow's lunch, or even freeze for a rainy day. When you reheat it, that beloved flavor will be even deeper and more satisfying. Whether this is your first time making lasagna or you're already a fan, tonight, the kitchen is your stage and you are the maestro. Follow your senses, take your time, and most importantly, enjoy the process. That first forkful, velvety and hearty, will be worth every moment. So, tie on your apron, gather your ingredients, and fill your home with the aromas of Italy. Because tonight, you're making lasagna like a pro, and every guest at your table will taste the love and care baked into each layer. Enjoy, and buon appetito!